Hey guys, today we are going over my horror Blu-rays. Hey friends, so I told you that things were going to be different, and so yeah, this is the different aspect. We're going to be a little bit closer than usual, a little bit, yeah, just different. Don't have the red and blue lights quite yet. We'll see when or if those actually come back into play, but yeah, this is just kind of be how it is now. Hope that you guys don't mind. Yeah, let's get into the video though. I already said at the beginning what this is, and oh yeah, by the way, I'm Tyler. Welcome to my channel. Get all that out of the way, because since I apparently forget to do all the regular housekeeping stuff, and yeah, let's just get into it. So yeah, first we've got 28 days, 28 weeks later. Nothing special with these ones. They were super cheap. I think I already had them on DVD, so it was just about an upgrade. 976 Evil. It's just a film that I had never seen. It's all right. Like, it's not. It's probably one of my least watched horror Blu-rays. This right here, it's a little controversial. Might not be completely considered horror, but I put it in there, even though I didn't put the Predator series in there. So, sure, someone will be offended by that. But the first one is horror for sure, and I would say the third one as well. All the Boys Love Mandy Lane. I really love this film. Unfortunately, it kind of loses its luster with every viewing, but I still enjoy it. Then I was able to get the American Psycho 4K, which only reason I got this was because it was real cheap. I don't really recommend it if you're trying to upgrade because there's not that significant of a difference. And here's two films that you guys know quite extensively because of this channel. Gone over them quite a bit. Annabelle 1 and 2. I really enjoyed the second one. And I got the first two Battle Royale films. I actually used to have a Korean import of this, so I was really excited that they released the Blu-ray. Then here is Scream Factory's Black Christmas, which, holy shit, this is probably one of the best horror releases out there. Unfortunately, the slipcover is pretty messed up on this one, but what are you gonna do? Then I have Blair Witch. I essentially just got this because it had a slipcover and it was only $10 and I hadn't seen it. And fortunately, I'm not one of the people that hated it. I actually really enjoyed it. Not as much as I enjoyed like the first one more, but obviously I think that's most people do. Cabin in the Woods. Love this film. Cool little lenticular cover, which is honestly kind of a spoiler. Then I got the Chucky Complete Collection, which technically now it's not the complete collection. It only goes up to Curse, but thankfully I really did not enjoy Cult, so I'm glad that this is the one that I have. Then Clown. This is actually from the director of the new Spider-Man films, like Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man Far From Home. This movie is absolutely fantastic. Definitely recommend it. Then again, The Conjuring 1 and 2. You guys know these quite well at this point because yeah, I go over them quite a lot. Next is probably the best documentary that's out there on a horror franchise, Crystal Lake Memories. And yeah, just fantastic. It's like 7 hours and absolutely exhilarating. And Day of the Dead. This is just like a very standard edition. Just got it for cheap. It's not like the cool ones that are out there because they have a lot of releases of this. Then Dead Snow. Really enjoy this film. I think it's like Norwegian, but yeah, it's really fun. It's been quite a while since I've watched it actually. Then The Descent. This, can't really get much better than The Descent when it comes to claustrophobic, just well done films. And we have Fede Alvarez's Don't Breathe. I absolutely love this film. This is one of those movies that I've actually only watched the one time because I enjoyed it so much. I have several films in my collection that are like that, like, District 9 and Her, where it's like when a film impacts you so much you like don't want to spoil it with multiple viewings. Then Bram Stoker's Dracula. This one's all right. It was more just because I was really wanting to see some Dracula stuff. Then have my Evil Dead collection, Evil Dead 1, Evil Dead 2,
which is the 25th anniversary edition. This is another film that has a whole lot of editions, as well as Army of Darkness, which this is the Screwhead edition, and this also has a ton of editions. This is the remake, which is just the R-rated version. It's not the unrated that came out recently. Just knock down some shit. This is the digibook for The Exorcist. This is really cool. Back when they did digibooks pretty regularly, now that's not quite the case. Then I have all 5 Final Destination films, and this thing, I don't like these packs, but they're a good deal, especially when it's not like they have their own individual disc. If they didn't have their individual disc, then I wouldn't have purchased. And the plan is to eventually create some Blu-rays with some cool artwork. And The Frighteners, Peter Jackson's The Frighteners. This film is absolutely fantastic and features one of the best making of specials on any DVD out there. It's just incredible. I feel like it's like 4 hours of just really well done making of, because it was actually done by Peter Jackson and the crew. It's not like some outsourced company. From Dusk Till Dawn, this is cool. The unfortunate thing about this is that it does not have Full Tilt Boogie on it, which is the 90-minute documentary on the making of the film. Then Frozen. No, this is not the Disney one. This is Adam Green's Frozen. I like this movie, but it has its issues, mainly because it just does not need those wolves that pop up at one point. And you have Get Out, which obviously this is just a fantastic film. I will probably end up upgrading this to 4K just because it looks so good on 4K. Then we have the Halloween complete collection. Unfortunately, I was not able to get my hands on the bigger set where it's all individual releases and comes with like the producer's cut of Halloween 6 and like the TV version of Halloween 2. Unfortunately, I was not able to get that, but that's just how life goes. It is now like $300. Then we have the limited edition Halloween 18, which this is probably my favorite steelbook in my collection. I love the look of it. And it looks really awesome. I have a video on that. If you want to check that out, I will link that below. And Happy Death Day. Love this film. I can't wait. The second one is just about to be released. And moving on to this side, we have Hereditary, which again, just fantastic movie. Would have gotten the 4K of this, but it's only mastered in 2K, so it's the 4K version is an upscale, so I just went with the DVD version. Insidious, I really only like the first one. The second one's alright, but the first one's the one that I consider to be actually a great film, so that's the only one that I have, actually. Then It Chapter 1, despite it not saying Chapter 1. Still waiting on that director's cut release. I'm really glad that I did not hold off buying this and waiting for that, because I would still be waiting. Then we have It Follows. This is a really cool steelbook from Target, I believe. Might have been Best Buy. I honestly can't remember. But yeah, this steelbook was actually the reason that made me give it a second chance, because I didn't like it the first time that I saw it, and it's like, for $5 for a steelbook, can't really pass that up, and rewatched it and actually ended up loving it. Then Killer Clowns from Outer Space. This just has a standard like sticky weird thing on it that covers up a really lame cover. That's why I still keep this on it. And here's the Last House on the Left remake, which again, this film is so much better than it has any right to be. Lights Out, which this movie is so underrated. The short that it's based on is great, but this movie is just hits it out of the park. Maniac. This is probably one of my least watched horror films in my collection. It's good. It takes a lot out of you. I actually prefer the remake over it, but I don't own that because it's streaming most places. Maniac Cop. I love this film. Bruce Campbell is great in it. And so is Tom Atkins. It's a lot of fun. I really want to get Maniac Cop 2. It's a good one. My Bloody Valentine 3D, which, it's a fun film, and yeah, I just got it for cheap. Near Dark. This is Catherine Bigelow. I think it's her first directorial film, and yeah, she just nails this. It's a really, really good movie, and I really hate the Twilight cover on it, but oh well. At least it's cheap. I have the Night of the Living Dead Criterion, which this is just fantastic. I mean, look at that. It's beautiful. Has a lot of stuff on it. Even has the original cut Night of Anubis. So that's really cool. Then the Nightmare on Elm Street collection. Unfortunately, it's just a really lame, just single fucking, I don't know. It's just really not impressive. And I think there's a lot of the films are doubled up. And yeah, it's not a very good set, even though thankfully the films themselves look good. Ouija Origin of Evil. Gotta love this one. I've always really enjoyed this. I do not own the first one and have no intention of owning it. Whew, almost dropped that. Phantasm Remastered. This is this is one of those remasters that when you watch it, you're like, wow, they cleaned that up so much. It's really, really impressive. Then we have Psycho. This is the 50th anniversary edition. This is essentially, one of the films that started the slasher genre. So, of course, I had to have it. I absolutely love it. This is probably my least favorite horror film in my collection. Just bought it because I think I literally got this for $2. And yeah, I still paid too much for it. A Quiet Place on 4K just looks absolutely amazing. I'm really curious how they're going to do the sequel, but yeah, it's still really, really good. And this is one that as soon as I saw this in store, despite the fact that this is streaming on Shudder, which I have a yearly subscription to, I just had to own it. I absolutely adored this film. I did this during my 31 Days of Halloween, and yeah, it's really, really good and looks fantastic on Blu-ray. Next is Night of the Living Dead. This is just like the Killer Clowns from Outer Space Blu-ray that has... It covers up a pretty lame... This little thing covers up a pretty lame cover. Then we have the Saw series, which this is such a fantastic deal. This is seriously like $10 on Amazon all the time, so I definitely recommend this. And then Jigsaw, which, I mean, I kind of like that there's kind of a little bit of synchronicity between the two. And yeah, Jigsaw is nothing to write home about, but I love the Saw series, so... Then Scream 1 through 4, always get a kick out of these. This one actually has 2 really long documentaries on it, which are all right. They're decent, but they're still kind of before they kind of perfecting those kinds of making ofs. This is The Shining, which is my favorite horror film of all time. Unfortunately, this is technically the director's cut, even though it has extra footage, which Kubrick does specifically cut out. And Kubrick also prefers this film to be in full screen. That's how he shot it. So it's as much as I love having that, I have a bootleg copy that is a digital that is actually the correct version. So I watched that quite a bit more, despite the fact that one obviously looks better. Then Silent Night, Deadly Night. Fucking this movie. This is a Christmas classic, right next to Black Christmas. Just should be a yearly tradition for everyone. And Scream Factory did a fantastic job with it. Oh, I actually have a thing on it. I think this is probably the only Blu-ray in my collection that actually has this on it, because I usually don't care. I usually care about that and don't want that to be on it, but I can't imagine that I've watched this since getting it. It's just one of those films that saw it cheap at a flea market and was like, hey, I like that enough. Trick or Treat, this film, I wish that they did a sequel to it. This is definitely one of the most underrated horror films out there. Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Great movie. Just heard recently that they might be having something move forward on it, but it doesn't sound like it's going to be a movie, so that's disappointing. And Unfriended. This movie is fucking awesome. If you have not seen this and I've just been turned off of it because of the Facebook aspect, I definitely recommend checking it out because it's so much more than that. And we have Universal Classic Monsters. This is such a great collection, and yeah, I just really love it. It features the first films in all of these series, except for Bride of Frankenstein, which is obviously one of the sequels to Frankenstein, and Otherwise, it's just one per series and really like whets your appetite. I like this a lot. I really plan on getting the Legacy collection at some point, which expands upon the series more. What We Do in the Shadows. I'm not a huge fan of this cover, but I fucking love this movie so much. In fact, I'm probably going to be watching this next while I'm editing this because I fucking love this and it's been a little while. The Witch, which is amazing. Really, really fantastic film. I can't wait for this director's next film, Midsummer, which comes out this summer. Then the final two films, I have Wolfman, which I know a lot of people weren't into, but I really like the transformation, and I like how much of a threat the Wolfman is in this. So that's cool, and the twists are kind of stupid, but look at that cast. How can you... Anthony Hopkins, Emily Blunt, Hugo Weaving, and Benicio del Toro, like, come on. That's insane. Then Zombieland, I really enjoy this. This is actually one of the first Blu-rays I got. I really, really love this film, and I'm really pumped to see where it goes with the second. And then yeah, I have my little Freddy door like stop thing to make these prevent these from falling over. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed looking at my Blu-ray collection, and next week we're gonna take a look at my horror DVDs. I was gonna say horror collection, but that's yeah. You guys know what I'm saying. We'll see you next week. Hey friends, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and check out this video that YouTube thinks that you would like. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll see you next week.